Hey YouTube, it's Tony and Josh coming at you from the Golden Panel. It's been a while since we put up a video, so we thought, well, we'll just sit down and have a conversation about some just random topics, and one that came up recently between us. So we thought we'd bring you into the conversation. If you have any comments or questions or concerns, just go ahead and add those below. We'll take a look at them, and then we'll try to answer them back or respond to you. So we wanted to take a brief minute to acknowledge some things. The first thing I wanted to acknowledge was that obviously we're new at this. Neither one of us are rich and famous. Neither one of us has tried YouTube or blogging or anything like that before. So we are learning from some of our mistakes. And some of you will notice we took down a video because it was maybe done in not bad taste, but when we put on a different set of lenses, we realized that maybe some people could misconstrue things. So we went ahead and removed that it's not our mission, and it's not our goal here on this channel to belittle anybody or make anybody feel disrespected. So we've apologized for that, and so we're just going to kind of move forward and explain kind of what our goals are, what we plan on diving into, and where we go from there, or from here to get there. So we're just going to kind of have a conversation. Like I said, feel free to add comments or questions. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll try to respond to you. So the first thing we were talking about here a while back was how do we engage people that we work with?
Yeah.
And so we thought, well, let's enter some comedy. Let's do something that's fun. And I think the whole intent of what we want to do is, one, connect people that are in our field, dispatching. So that would be number one. Number two would be maybe shining a light on, our little slice of heaven down here in southeast Iowa. There's a lot of good things going on in this county, and we hope to bring them to the forefront, both for a regional purpose and, maybe a little bit bigger scale down the road on some things. So I guess that's kind of, is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of summarizing. I think, like, I was just, briefly talking to Tony before we started filming here. This whole thing was born from an email I sent that people found it funny, and so I thought, why not? Why not bring some levity to our situation? We work in a very harrowing, heavy field, if you want to put it that way. There's a lot of negativity in law enforcement and dispatch. Let's bring some levity and some comedy, lightheartedness to that, and it kind of steamrolled from there. We kind of built upon that, said, hey, let's just talk about our day. It might not always be funny. Let's make this a cathartic release for us, and let's just get our thoughts out there. We have a lot of them. Why not film and try to interact with those that we are brothers from other agencies, whether it is around here in southeast Iowa or around the country, and maybe even some of our law enforcement officers that we don't have as much interaction with, right in our jurisdiction. Just say, hey, this is what we're thinking of, and this is how our viewpoint stands. Just kind of give her a little release. That's what I think. That's what it's been for me.
Right, and I agree. I think, the first goal I kind of thought was, boy, it'd be nice to just, we run into a lot of funny crap, through number one, through our workday, but even then, like, I got a family, and I have 2 kids under the age of 5. Who in the hell knows what's going to happen? In the next 5 minutes, one of them could be falling down the stairs. I don't know. That's just, people may not want to know everything about your life, but God, some of it's funny.
Yeah. Why not bring that to other people?
This is what we do outside of work. Like, I see this as, so like, we golf in the summer.
Yeah.
And now, it's turning to fall, so why not find something that, we don't always have to talk about work. We're going to talk about religion and politics, and the county's getting ready to do a radio project. We talked about the bond issue. We talked about 9/11. So we talk anyhow. So why not just sit down and shoot the crap with each other, and in the meantime, maybe we'll say something that helps you out. Maybe we'll say something that gives you an idea of what you can do in your call center, or anybody for that matter. Make your commute to work easier by listening to such and such podcast. I don't know, just us conversating about our lives. And I wanted to make a disclaimer, and I wanted to do this kind of close to the beginning of this video, was that at no time in any way, shape, or form are we ever intentionally putting down or disrespecting or saying that emergency services, whether you're in the field of policing, fire and rescue, or EMS, corrections, military, dispatch, you name it, when you're part of the public service or the public sector, you're not going to find another group of individuals that are more supportive and pro-law enforcement and pro-emergency services than the two people sitting at this table. So I wanted to put that disclaimer out there because, to be honest with you, I may say something, and it's been known to happen, that someone could take a little bit out of context, and maybe somebody that's not around here that obviously doesn't know me may say, well, that guy's a freaking idiot. It's bound to happen. I caught myself in a little bit of a pickle here, just a couple hours ago, where I had to look through some other lenses to see maybe how something was portrayed in a wrong way. So I just want to put that out there, that if that situation comes up to where you, the viewer, feels that I'm being disrespectful to an agency like yours, whether it's a small town agency or a big agency, it's not one-sided. It's not. If I mention a town or a city or a state or a country, I don't want you, the viewer, to feel like I'm attacking you, because that's not the point. We're all in this together, and both of us are 100% on board with supporting emergency services. We're 100% law enforcement. Fire, EMTs. You name it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're not going to find two guys that support it better, so...
Yeah, and I think just to add, somewhat to that, we are... Once you sit behind that desk in the call center, professionalism is paramount. And so we are thinking about our officers. Even if it's just, an officer hasn't responded to a status check, there is nobody out there, then, especially in our center, okay, we got to send somebody. We want that status check. We want to make sure everybody comes home safe. And I guess I just can't reiterate it enough that we are very pro emergency services, and we want to show that support, and don't take anything the wrong way. And my thought is, if you do have a question, put it in the comments and say, hey, did you really mean that in how it sounded? And we can clarify if we need to.
Right, I agree. So we're going to get kind of into a topic. We really haven't discussed what we want to talk about, but we tried something last night, and we were going to video it, but by the time we got started, it was all done and over with. Josh and I decided to maybe start a little business venture. We decided we're going to make donuts, and no, it's not because we're big, even though you're thinking.
Yes, I heard those thoughts.
There is nothing better than a fresh, homemade fried donut coming out of the fryer, resting for a little bit on a cookie sheet, going straight into icing, back to the cookie sheet, and then about 4 seconds later, eating it with a nice cold glass of milk.
Yes.
So, the reason why we did not video it is because by the time we got all the ingredients in the mixer and rolled out and cut out and fried and iced, we were eating them.
Yeah.
That's putting it bluntly.
Yeah.
Now, we did share some, and I'm sorry for those that didn't receive any. The plan is to make more because they were really good. Yeah.
Okay,
they're not the best donut I've ever had, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, especially the glazed ones. We started out with 2 different doughs.
Josh did a cake dough.
Yes, I will
which was ill-advised.
I will take the blame for the cake ones. My grandma threw it in the trash this morning.
You could have used it as a baseball bat. It was a little tough.
Yeah,
but we have ideas going forward.
Yes, they came out, and if you ate them immediately, they were okay. But the longer they sat, it was like trying to break this table.
It would have broke this table.
Yes, I think I could have put it through. But the glazed, even this morning, were delicious.
My wife had the glazed one this morning, heated up, and she said it was just awesome. It was warm all the way throughout after she warmed it up like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good. And those we very little alterations to it. The cake ones we have to make some serious alterations to.
Right.
But I think the ideas we talked about last night after the unsuccessful venture we had with those will make it even better. So
I hope so.
I think it will.
So the goal here is to maybe start with mini donuts. Well, we're going to start with bigger donuts because that's how you get a feeling for your dough, and then just work smaller and smaller with your donut.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know what in the hell we're doing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We took a recipe, put it in my wife's KitchenAid, which I bought her for Christmas last year. Thank you for that present, Rosie. And I used it a lot, and it was a lot of fun, but it's weird because there's I wish I would have paid attention to chemistry class to know or to understand how yeast and flour and sugar and just a pinch of salt and an egg and a butter and all that. I just want to cook it and eat it.
Yeah, that's exactly. I've always been. I like baking, but I think it's the mixing of the donut that's really. I think that's the problem with my cake batter. We mixed and added flour, trying to get the right consistency. So we were nowhere near the actual recipe.
So when I made my dough, my dough required an 8-hour rest. Mm-hmm. So when I got done with it, mine said to add up to 1.5 cups extra flour after the first round of going through, and if it appeared to be wet, add some more and add some more. Well, Josh's cake donut batter, which makes sense now that I would say the word cake donut.
Yes.
Is supposed to be a little bit wet, but we didn't know that. So we just kept throwing flour in and flour. We went through $6 worth of flour, which if you hear about flour, that's a lot. And so when we pulled it out of the thing and dropped it on the table, it instantly soaked up all the moisture. So when I went to roll it out, it just rolled in one sheet really quick, and I thought, these babies are going to be dense. Yeah. And I think they would have been better if they were thicker, but, we went pretty small. Yeah. I think if we go with big ones.
I think so. And, I wish I would know more about it, and I know, in bread making and in any type of baking, the more you mix your dough, so all that mixing and extra flour and just the physical mixing just pounds and pounds and pounds that stuff, and just makes it super tough. Right. So, we'll learn. We'll live.
We have some pretty sweet ideas.
Yes.
And sweet, get it? I didn't mean that, but we have some pretty sweet ideas. We're not going to make millions off of it. We'll still probably work till we're 65, but I don't know. We'll try it and see what happens. So stay tuned for that. That was one thing we had going on. What else do we have going on here that we talked a little bit about before coming downstairs? What we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we've run through so many ideas that today has been a whirlwind for both of us. Tony, backing himself up. I've had other things going on. It's just kind of one of those things where my grandma asks me what are you and Tony up to today?
Good old grandma watching out for us.
What's your goal with this? Well, I don't know what my goal is, but we're keeping ourselves busy. She
didn't want to be recorded and put on YouTube, so that's.
Yeah. So I told her the other day, just be glad we're not sitting you down in front of the camera and you're going to be the interviewee. So.
Yeah, I don't know if that would work so well. Another thing we talked about was bringing on special guests, such as police chiefs or fire personnel and stuff like that. I did mention we have a big project going on in Lee County, the radio project. So right now everything's VHF, and they're talking about going over to digital, which we know a lot of agencies have. Washington County just went through one. Des Moines County just went through a change. I know the whole state of Iowa is now, all the state troopers in Iowa are on a digital system. So it's taking, an older system that we have and beefing it up to either getting rid of VHF altogether and then going straight digital. So that's another topic for a different day, but that's something that I think a lot of people might be interested in. We have some other small community things that'll be going on. We want to talk, anybody who's up, we can talk about politics.
Yeah.
Anybody who's up for re-election in our area. I know there's a bunch of people here in our city, in Donaldson, that's up for re-election. It's not until next November, but I'm sure we'll dive into politics more and more we see on TV, which I'm sure you all are sick of. So if you don't want to see politics, just let us know. I mean, you're still probably going to get it, and you can choose not to watch the video because I love to talk politics. But
maybe we'll put a disclaimer in the title. This is a political video or something, so you don't even have to click on it.
Right, and maybe who it's about.
Yeah.
I mean, because
it'll matter.
If you don't like Joe Biden and it says, hey, this is Tony's rant on Joe Biden, or if you don't like Nancy Pelosi, or if you don't like Donald Trump, then we'll just put that in the title and then do with it what you will. But.
And if this gets bigger than just our local area, I mean, obviously we're going to be talking about local things. It may not concern you.
Right.
Unless you just like to hear us talk, and then feel free to watch.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're really bored. I was reading the other day online that, and the other day, I mean, like 2 days ago, I was reading online, and I'm going to back this up after I read into it a little bit more, but I just wanted to kind of start a conversation in, I don't know if I want to say the city or not, but in a larger city in the Midwest, not in Iowa, but a larger city in the Midwest, within those city limits, 6,700 calls that were a priority or more than routine, so like what we would consider like a priority 1 or priority 2, so assaults, domestic burglaries, robberies. I don't know the exact call types that these 6,700 are, but 6,700 calls that were other than routine were not answered in this city because of staffing shortages.
Yes.
So I know this is a topic I want to talk about, coming up relatively soon. Is you see a lot of bad press about public service, whether it be any branch of law enforcement or fire, or there's not a lot of people that get a good break. I mean, you always hear the negative, but you don't really hear a lot of good. So my challenge would be that, if you think there's something negative, I'm always a firm believer that if you think there's something negative, instead of complaining, offer a solution.
Yeah.
I have a solution for you. The Lee County Sheriff's Office in Lee County, Iowa, the Keokuk Police Department in Keokuk, Iowa, and the Fort Madison Police Department are all looking for qualified officers and qualified individuals to join their teams. Most of them have civil service testing. All of them have civil service testing. Most of them will test you. They will run you through PT testing. They will run you through a written exam. They will get you into the academy. Mm-hmm. They will pay for you to go to the academy. They'll pay for the courses. And then when you get out, you have to you have to be with the department for a while. Mm-hmm. And then you can become an officer.
Yep.
Keokuk and Fort Madison, I think, are both maybe accepting applications for firemen. We can look into that.
Yeah.
I know dispatchers nationwide, there's a shortage.
Yes.
Teachers, Iowa teachers have taken a beating here lately because of the gutting of Chapter 20, which is in the Iowa Code, that gives public employees the ability to negotiate contracts. Also, a lot of teachers left Iowa and went to states like Minnesota that have excellent, union benefits. So, there's a whole, that's just a very tiny sliver of things that, I think we could bring up and talk about. And like I said, any comments or questions, any topics that you want to hear us rant about, just two guys talking, send us an email, thegoldenpanel@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can go ahead and submit a comment. You can go to our blog, which is
the goldenpanel.com. wyxsite.com/calm in the chaos. We'll put a link down there, so it's
Right.
a lot easier to go through that. But yeah, it's a Wix site. I mean, it'll have a link to all of our social media. It'll have all our current blog posts on there. So I mean, go like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I haven't done a whole lot of Twitter, Instagram stuff, but once this gets a little bit ball rolling, we'll get it all up and running. And
You need to hire more staff.
yeah,
Yeah.
We'll put Grandma to work.
Oh, not a bad idea.
Yeah, she
come
can-
out of retirement,
There-
get involved in technology.
Yeah, I think she knows how to turn on the computer. I don't know about that after that.
Does she know what Wi-Fi is?
She knows we have it.
Okay. My grandma knows about the same, so
Yeah,
you gotta love grandma.
yeah. We'll see.
All right. Well, like I said, if you guys want to shoot us an email, get on that Facebook page, send us a message. Josh pretty much does all the social media. We both have access to the email and comments and everything like that. So let us know what you think. Let us know anything you want us to talk about or what's going on in your agency. If you've seen a headline recently that you'd like to hear more about, shoot us an email. Let us know, and we'll dive into it. So.
Yeah, sounds good. We appreciate you.
All right, I'm Tony. This is Josh. This is the Golden Panel. Thanks for coming.
Yep. See you soon.